Hi, everyone. Come up the road with us this week to Sneads Ferry to check out my friend Lisa's Gelato Cafe. Lisa's Gelato Cafe is not only one of the best in North Carolina, but probably the country and potentially the world. It rivals the Italian gelato that we've all tried and know and love, and has been confirmed by the number of orders she's gotten from multiple countries, including Mexico, Japan, Sweden. I think she's got a few others that you'll learn in the interview as well. Lisa has had such a demand. She's struggling to fulfill orders. And if you try her gelato, you will know why. I can't get enough. My kids love it. And it's worth the trip out to Sneads Ferry. We are so lucky to have her in our state in the Cape Fear area where we can get it shipped to our door locally, or you can actually go test it out right in her Sneads Ferry Cafe. Or if you're lucky enough to be listening in the summertime, you can check it out at the North Topsail Beach location too, which you'll also get to see in this interview. Not only is Lisa an amazing gelato maker, but she's also passionate about her mission to stop human trafficking, which we'll talk about in this interview. So come along with us and enjoy this interview with Cafe Frutta Fresca, and let us know what you think the craziest flavor of gelato would be. She may talk about it in this interview. All right, welcome back to Cape Fear Calling. We're here with my friend Lisa. She is actually a Veterans in Residence alumni and current member of our cohort with me in downtown Wilmington, and so this is a real special treat. But we are here at Cafe Frutta Fresca in Sneads Ferry today. They also have a few other locations and ways that you can get it that we'll talk about in a little bit down the road. But the reason we're here is not because Lisa is just a Veterans in Residence alumni.
Wait, what is it though? So people who don't know.
Where are we? What are we doing
what
here?
is Veterans in Residence?
Oh, Veterans in Residence. Okay. So Veterans in Residence is a nonprofit through Bunker Labs that's dedicated to helping veteran entrepreneurs and military spouse entrepreneurs get their businesses up and going and kind of push them along the way. So I'm in there because I've got my Little Fishy Swim School.
That's where you guys met?
And that's where Lisa
right.
and
Gotcha.
I met.
Okay.
And Lisa has her gelato shop, which is where we are today.
Nice.
But I don't have Lisa in here just because she's a Veterans in Residence. She brought some of her gelato to one of our events, and when I tried it, I was floored. And everybody who tried it there was like, this is legitimately amazing. Yeah. And I got to take a couple pints home, and my girls were like, when
sea salt caramel, I think I
sea salt
destroyed
caramel was a big favorite. They're all very good flavors, and my daughter's like, when can you get some more from Lisa? So I said, you're gonna have to bring gelato to every meeting so that I can take some home. So I wanted to come here and make sure she was on our interview list to talk to her about her gelato. So Lisa, can you tell us the address of this location in Sneads Ferry?
Sure. Our Sneads Ferry location is at 322 Sneads Ferry Road. Mm-hmm. We're by the back gate of Camp Lejeune.
Is this your first location?
This is my first location.
Okay,
yes.
And there's a couple others?
We have a location at North Topsail Beach, which is seasonal. It's at Beach Access number 4 with the free parking, and it's absolutely beautiful there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So we wanted to learn a little bit about how you got started. So did you decide when you were a little girl you wanted to be a gelato maker? Or when did you decide that you loved gelato?
When I lived in Italy for 2 years. We were there on orders with the Navy. And we traveled all over Italy and Europe, tasting gelato all over the place, and just fell in love with it. Our first place where I actually just loved the gelato so much and thought, oh man, I'd love to make this myself, was when we went to Florence, and we went to Festival del Gelati. Yes. And we went in there, and it was a long line, and the display cases were adorned with fruit and candy, and I mean, it was just beautiful. It was like, you know, a sight for the eyes. And then when I tasted the gelato, it was so delicious. We were walking down the cobblestone streets to our destination, and we finished, and we're like, no. We turned back around, and we went back, waited in line, and got some more. So that's when I knew that I wanted to make gelato.
Now, we've had Boombolattis on our show. They were our second episode. So they're an ice cream shop. So for everyone who doesn't know the difference between ice cream and gelato, like, can you break that? I actually don't even know the difference, but I do know when I tasted yours, I was like, what is going on right now. It was so good.
Okay.
But yeah, what's the difference?
I can definitely tell you the difference. So the difference between gelato and sorbet, gelato and ice cream, is gelato has less fat than regular ice cream because it's made with more milk than cream. It has a more intense flavor because it has less air spun into it.
Okay.
So ice cream has more fluff, more
Sure.
air,
Yeah.
and so gelato is more dense.
Okay.
And it has more intense flavor. It's kept at a warmer temperature, a little bit warmer than ice cream, and it has a softer, smoother consistency.
Oh, unbelievable. Okay.
I will say that when we went to Europe, especially in Italy, I think I got gelato at least twice a day.
In
Yes.
Sicily, when we were in Sicily, we had a ton as well. It was
Yes.
ridiculous.
And Rich
It's amazing.
didn't understand, but when it's warm and it's hot and you're walking around the streets and there's
Right.
gelato stands everywhere, it's just like, why not?
Exactly.
It's delicious, and
It
you
is
definitely brought the European taste here. So tell us a little bit. So you fell in love with it when you were in Europe.
I did.
And then what happened after
Yeah,
that?
like action.
Okay, so then it was time for us to come home, and I came home and I went to an Italian school to learn how to make it from Italians, and decided I wanted to get my MBA because I wanted to learn how to run a business. I wanted to run a business well. So I went to graduate school at Webster University, got my MBA, and then I was looking for a location, trying to find a place to rent, and they were all so expensive, so I decided to purchase this location.
Dang.
This location used to belong to the Methodist Church. The Methodist Church was used to be out front, and this was their fellowship hall. So a lot of people would come in here and say, "Oh, I went to Sunday school here," because it was Sunday school classes. It was looked completely different. And I had my birthday party here or something, so it was nostalgic for people to come in here, and they loved the product and loved us. So we appreciate it and we love them too.
But I want to rewind. So you went to the school, and at what point were you like, there's no turning back? Like in every entrepreneur's life, they're just like, this is it. So like, how was that for you, and were you confident that you could legitimately like launch a business?
Right. Well, when I get something in my mind, I write a plan, and then I do all the steps that I need to take to make it happen, and there's never any turning back for me. There's never any turning back.
And then so then you found the location, and what was that like? Just buying a location versus renting, doing commercial lease or anything like that.
Right. So buying the location came with a lot because I had to do a lot to this to upfit it for a commercial kitchen, to be able to use it for a commercial restaurant as far as the septic system. So we had to put a brand new septic system in here.
Dang.
I have European equipment that makes my gelato, the batch freezer and the pasteurizer that I make my base in. So I had to get 3-phase power. We had single-phase power. It was 400 amp, I think, and I had to get it fitted to 600 amp 3-phase. So there was a lot that had to be done, and it took over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't have known some of those things you were just saying unless you purchased a building. Like
That's
the power,
right.
like it's just stuff that you go through and then it sticks in your mind because it's painful.
That's right. Definitely.
But here we are.
That's right.
So
So tell us what makes your gelato so delicious and so special.
Well, if you look at my logo, the fruit of the spirit words, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. The main word is love, and we put a lot of love into making our gelato and sorbet. We make it all from scratch. It's all natural, and I make the flavorings myself, except for the ground pistachios and the ground hazelnut. But I make the cookies myself. I do a banana pudding. I make the banana pudding. I make the base, and I make the lady fingers from scratch that go in. Everything's all natural, and I think the love, the care, the attention to detail, using premium ingredients, all that is what makes it special.
And a lot of it is you personally fixing these things. I know when we go to our meetings, a lot of times Lisa's like, "Oh, I had to fix, 3 gallons
it's always
or
me.
300
It's me.
pints." So Lisa is the one like really, really doing this. And I know you've gotten attention not only from here in the States, but you've also gotten some international requests.
Definitely,
too.
I have.
So where do you have some requests and
Well, I had a company in Japan that wanted the product. They want a lot.
How does
Sweden.
Hold on. Like, who called who? Like, what
Well,
happened?
I
Or
go
like,
to so we have been at different events.
Yeah.
The Department of Agriculture, they do one-on-one meetings. The North Carolina Department of Agriculture, they set up one-on-one meetings with international buyers for us. And so, and I've also gone to trade missions,
Yep.
and that's how I meet them.
Yeah.
And they taste the product, they love it, and then they want it. But they want huge quantities, which we cannot make in this facility because we only have one batch freezer and one pasteurizer, and we need a factory that we can supply it. And I've had a company from Sweden that asked me for 12 pallets of the gelato. And from Mexico, went to a trade mission in Mexico, and 3 of the companies there. One is like the 7-Elevens here. The other one is like Sam's Club here. And another one is a big grocer too, and they all wanted big quantities of it. So.
What goes through your head when you're like, how do I solve this problem? Because that's a great problem to have, that kind of demand, especially for a place out of Sneads Ferry, North Carolina, which a lot of people are like, where? So like, what goes through your head when you have to think about how to potentially fulfill that?
Well, my mission is to get our gelato all over the world.
Love it.
So we want to, make as much as we can, sell as much as we can, but keep it authentic.
Yeah.
And so what I think when that happens is I need to build my capacity. I need to expand.
Sure.
And so we have spoken to consultants, and we have made up a plan. We have a new business plan for expansion. We wanted to at least fulfill the orders that people wanted immediately.
Sure.
So we were looking for a co-manufacturer to make the product for us ourselves, but we couldn't find a good fit. So we had to come up with a plan to expand. So that's our next step.
Yeah. It sounds like it needs to align with your core values in order for it to work. Not just have the space, but they need to operate in along with some of these like love and self-control and joy and peace and all that.
That's
so
true.
It sounds like a good decision, but I'm sure it'll come true. So.
Yeah, no, I remember Lisa talking about it at our meetings with some of the fits, and they're like, well, you could do it here, but we would have to substitute this, or we couldn't use this fresh thing, or you couldn't. And Lisa's just like, no, like it has to be my product, and it has to be my quality.
Right.
And I think that's really important. It does make it really special. And I wanted to, while we're kind of talking about the mission and your values, what is something else that drives you? Because I know you have a mission besides gelato that you're kind of feeding into this. You want to talk to us about that? That's so true.
So our mission is to help stop human trafficking, especially child trafficking. That is very close to, children are very close to my heart, and it's a terrible epidemic. It's going on all over the world, and especially in the United States.
Yes.
And I love to support organizations that are actively fighting the war on human trafficking, especially companies like Operation Underground Railroad, Our Rescue. Yeah, and they were the ones. I got to connect you
with one of my friends. He's done some amazing work with them.
Oh,
Video
really?
work, yeah. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, that'll be great.
That's awesome. They are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we support them. We did a march with them last year, Rise Up for Children. And then we also donate to organizations like them and have raised money and donated to them as well. But we want to get to a point where we are just shipping that gelato all over the world, and we have a designated amount that we donate to organizations like Operation Underground Railroad.
Yeah.
And we just want to save as many children as possible.
Yeah, I mean, we've never talked about any of this on Cape Fear Calling, but like I went to Sound of Freedom and I went alone because I was like, I don't think she's gonna want to go sit through that, and I went and I'm like, I'm glad I came alone. I heard a lot about it, but I was just, my eyes were wide open. So I think that's an amazing secondary mission.
It is an amazing movie, and hopefully it'll come out on Netflix or something like that, and other people can watch it. I don't know if it's still in theaters. I went to see it as well. But it is about Tim Ballard, the CEO and founder of Operation Underground Railroad. Right, and he does amazing work. And not only do they rescue children, but they also have programs where they help them after their rescue to, you know, get counseling and jobs and help them to get back to normal or as normal as possible.
So I definitely want to talk about the product, but what about the space? Well, like we always like to ask, what's the vibe when someone walks in here? What are they going to see? How do you want them to feel?
So, like I said, love. We want them to feel loved. We are big on service, so we want them to feel welcome. We want them to feel like they're family. And they do. We play music. We do different events here. We make the product mostly here, but we also have special events here. We'll have ladies' teas, or we do classes. We do pasta making classes, pizza making classes.
Wow.
And yeah, we just like to have a lot of fun, you know, turn on the music, dance and everything, and then everybody's just enjoying the gelato and sorbet and any other treats that we have for them.
Now, right when you walk in, there's like an initial counter, but then there's like, it's very unsuspecting. Like in the room we're in right now, it's like this huge other room. There's a kids room. So like, what is the difference between what's going on over there? If you're listening, you're gonna have to watch.
Right.
But what's the difference between that front counter, I guess, in this room?
So when you first come in, that's our retail area.
Okay.
And a lot of times we'll have local products for sale there.
Yep. Oh, nice.
Yeah, we'll have got to be NC products, North Carolina products for sale there. And NC Specialty Foods, we're a part of both of those organizations.
Okay.
So we'll have those things for sale. We also have like local authors' books.
Nice.
We have a book by an author from Wilmington in there for sale, and then another author who graduated from Dixon High School, and he also went to UNCW.
Okay.
He's also my son. We have his card there where you can scan it and purchase his book. And then people come in there and they can, when you first come in, we have our gelato case, display case there, and they can order their gelato there. And then when you come in here, this is our service area. Yeah, and this is where we have fun, and they can sit and they can eat. And then they can also order food at our service counter. We also have our kids' room.
Yeah.
Our kids' room in there, and we have all kinds of toys for them to play with. And then we have little books for them to read, papers for them to color, so you know they have a really good time. We have a little music area over there. We have our piano and our microphone, and yeah, we have people playing the piano sometimes. And, yeah,
it looks like a place you're not coming to just have your gelato and bounce.
Right.
It's like it looks like come like hang out.
We have game night. We have games that we put out, you know, and people sit here and play games, and
Nice.
Yep.
So something we always ask is, you know, why Sneads Ferry? Why kind of the greater Cape Fear area? Why'd you choose this location?
Well, Sneads Ferry has been home for us since 1997. This area, and then we did leave for a year to go to Fort Sam Houston, and we came right back, and then we left again for 2 years to go to Italy and came back. But my kids went to high school here, you know, elementary, middle school, and went to college at UNCW. One went to Western and then App State. So, you know, this area is home for us. And so I love the people, love the area, and right by the back gate of Camp Lejeune, you know, and by the marina, public boat launch. There's a lot of great stuff going on in Sneads Ferry. We're actually in historic Sneads Ferry right now.
Okay.
Okay, nice.
What about like working your way down to Wilmington? Is there anything potentially that might open up, like in terms of another cafe down there or any other spots?
We do catering in Wilmington. We have our push cart that we take out to different events. We just did Shark Tank on the shore for Genesis Block.
Okay.
So we take our cart, and people can rent our cart, you know, for special events. And we do that often.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and the cart she's talking about is really cute. We'll get some footage out there for you guys, but it's pink and white, and it's got the little gelato on it, and they can actually come out and
That's
scoop
right.
it. Like they'll
We do.
come out and they'll scoop it for you, which is kind of similar to our Boombalati's interview, where they have their little bus they take out. A gelato cart. So it's really cute. And I know Lisa was saying she can also ship. So if you want to come in and try it first, you should. But you can take my word for it. Whatever you order, if you just want to take a chance and just order it from her on her website, you won't be disappointed. You just get some pints shipped right to your house.
That's right. We ship all over. We do.
And then I do want to say, Lisa, so you said you had an order for Myrtle Beach that you were trying to fill, because you're trying to fill some of these bigger orders. And how'd that go?
I had an order for Columbia, South Carolina.
Columbia.
Dang.
Yeah, right. And the order went great. I mean, I told you, it was a big order, and we have the little machines. So to put it in perspective, my batch freezer makes about 10 and a half pints of gelato per 20 minutes. And the order was for about 500 pints. So it took me quite a while, plus stuffing all the pints, labeling all the, so it took quite a while to fill that order. And then shipping is, to deliver that much is quite expensive. So we were getting big price quotes for shipping. So we ended up renting a truck and driving it to there ourselves. But the company that ordered it is Pharmacist, and she's a farmer. She has a farm business, right? But she also gets government funds to buy local from companies that manufacture their own products from produce or milk or stuff that's grown in North Carolina or South Carolina from the farmers. You have to get it from the farmers. Yep. So we purchased from Simply Natural Creamery. We got all of our milk and cream from them for our base. We purchased our peaches from Hines Family Farms in Jacksonville. Wow. We got our delicious, amazingly delicious, the best blueberries I've ever had from Newberry's Blueberries in Burgaw. Yeah. And then we also got watermelons from Trask Family Farms, and we made that order for them. They absolutely loved it. She just kept telling me how much she loved it. She then messaged me and said, hey, what's your social media? Because everybody is just telling me how much they love this, and I just want to put a review on there for you. So we really appreciate that. Yeah.
I just wanted to say, for people listening, you're probably like, this is way too much hype. And I have to tell you a secret, Lisa. When I first heard you talking about people in Japan and Mexico and all these places wanted, I was like, they want gelato from Sneads Ferry. It's like I really just doubt that this gelato is that special. And then when she brought it, I was like, okay, let me try this. Let me see if I think that this is worthy of international acclaim. And I tried. I was like, I don't know how Lisa did it, but it legitimately is the best. And I've been to Italy and Europe as well, and so
people tell me that all the time.
All the time.
Really appreciate it.
I'm not lying.
We wouldn't be here if we wouldn't.
Nope, we wouldn't
never have her on
all
this
the way up to Sneads Ferry. It's worth the trip. Yep.
Awesome. So speaking of international, that thing right there, you said, what is that? And I think you said it was made internationally, purchased here or something, but
it's the counter.
Yeah,
the counter?
It's a gelato display case. So it's made in Italy, and on the end is where the gelato goes. In the middle is where pastries go. Yep. On the other side, there's an under-counter refrigerator and a sink, prep sink in there.
Gotcha.
But
it's very unique.
People come in here, it's a statement piece, and people come in here and say it looks like a spaceship.
Yes, it absolutely does. Yeah. So you talked about, real quick, we've talked about the gelato, but we didn't talk about the flavors and then the other food options here. And I'm looking at a bunch. I did not eat enough this morning, so I'm already hungry. But what are some of the crowd favorites? What are your favorites in terms of some of the flavors? And then what about the food?
So my favorite gelato right now, like I said, it changes with the season, or it changes when, because I like make up a flavor in my head and I'll just make it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. But my favorite right now is the blueberry cheesecake gelato. A lot of people's favorite, and I don't make all of the same flavors all the time, so people will like say, when are you going to make this flavor? But the bourbon caramel butter pecan, people go crazy over that. And then I make a French chocolate cake, and then I put it in my vanilla-based gelato, and it's a French chocolate cake chunk gelato. They go crazy over that. Dang. And this season, I made a chocolate gelato with the French chocolate cake in it, with chopped gourmet chocolate in it, and it just sold just like that. So
do people have to like pre-order that stuff? Like if you're like, it's coming, you put it on your social, like it's coming, order now?
Definitely. I will list the flavors, or people will ask me what flavors do I have, or they'll request certain flavors.
Got it. What about food then? What kind of other food you make here? You said it's not just gelato, and I mean,
No.
I could see.
Yeah, but here we are mainly doing our gelato and sorbet.
Sure.
And then we make our product here. So we don't have this spot open all the time for food. But when we do, we make our pizzas.
Oh,
we
nice.
make our pizzas from scratch. And people order catering too from us. And so we do soups, amazing soups, which I am going to start making and having bottled and sold retail as well. And then we do crepes, which people love. We do, my favorite is our berries and cream cake. So we have different kinds of berries with whipped cream, and we make our own whipped cream, of course. And then we do our panini sandwiches all the time. We have different types of panini sandwiches and hot dogs and different pastries and everything. We make all of our pastries. We make cannolis. We make our own cannoli shells and our own filling and everything.
It feels like gelato could be like a good for right after any of those meals.
Definitely.
So it's like
gelato anytime.
Yeah, it sounds
gelato
like it.
before the meal, while you're waiting on your meal.
So Lisa, we've talked a lot about your cafe. What are some other places, and we ask this for everybody, what are some other places around the area that if somebody was to come to this area, whether they live here or don't live here, where are some places they should check out? Could be restaurants, could be beaches, parks.
Well, you definitely want to go to North Topsail Beach. And we have our other location on North Topsail Beach, which is seasonal. We just closed that Labor Day weekend, after Labor Day weekend. We just closed that for the season. But the beach access number 4, it belongs to Onslow County, and we rent the space from them, but it's absolutely beautiful. The view is amazing. The location sits up high, so you can go on our deck and just look at the beautiful ocean, and it's free parking there, like I said, and it's just very enjoyable. There's a park right across the street from it, the North Topsail Beach Park, and there's lots of stuff for the kids to do. There's tennis courts, and so all that's free. The parking across the street at the park you have to pay for, but you could park at the beach location and walk across the street. And then there's a gazebo in the back on the water. You can fish from there, and crab and shrimp. And then there's also a little dock on the other side by the tennis courts, behind the tennis courts, where you can also fish and everything. So
nice.
I love that place over there.
When you're hungry, where do you go? When you come down to Wilmington and when you're around here, where are the places you go?
So one of my favorite places in Wilmington is Indochine, of course.
Yeah,
I love the
you gotta do
atmosphere.
that.
The food is delicious.
Yeah.
I love sitting out in the back, with the koi pond and everything. It's beautiful. I love the German Cafe in downtown Wilmington. I love walking down downtown Wilmington. The German Cafe is right beside the Cotton Exchange. So it's,
I've never been there.
It's,
I know. Oh,
they
okay.
have really
it's
good,
on the backside.
It's on the backside. So
Yep.
they have really good pastries. And it's just really nice that you can walk around and go to the different shops and everything down there while, after you eat or before you eat.
Yeah. Lisa, we've completely forgot to ask about dairy-free, gluten-free options. Like, is that part of the mix? Because we have a lot of friends in that category, and that's important. And then after that, if you could tell us where we could find you and follow you on social.
I make countless flavors of sorbet, which are dairy-free and gluten-free.
Got it.
And sorbets are mostly fruit, so they're fruit-based. Some of them you can make without fruit, but most of mine are made with fruit. And I made a new one this year. We celebrated our 6-year anniversary a couple of weekends ago.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. And I made a grape champagne sorbet, and it was so good and so refreshing. Yeah, people loved it. I make a champagne gelato as well too. I think you may have tried that.
I might have.
Yeah, but I had both of those for our anniversary celebration. But I make a mango and banana berry. Banana berry, a lot of people say it tastes like a smoothie. I make pineapple. I make pina colada. I make strawberry kiwi. I make all different kinds of sorbets, peach.
Yeah.
All different kinds.
Awesome.
So.
And where can we find you on social?
You can find me. I was going to tell you that I do make special sorbets as well.
okay.
And for Cinco de Mayo, I made a lime cilantro with candied jalapenos. It was really good. But we are on Facebook.
Okay.
We're on Instagram.
Yep.
And
Is it just at Cafe Frutta Fresca?
it's at Cafe Frutta Fresca.
Okay.
That's right.
Awesome. Where would you like people to contact you if they just want to say hello or thank you for everything that you've been making?
They can message us on our Facebook page, or they can call us here at the cafe, 910-741-4300.
Perfect.
Or they can email me
Okay.
at cafefruttafresca@gmail.com.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for having us here. It's been long overdue getting out to the actual location. I like to just take the gelato whenever you bring it in conveniently.
Right.
But I really hope people will try it, because I am not lying. There's two places that are near and dear to my heart in this area, and they're both frozen. and one is Bombolati's for ice cream.
Right.
But gelato, you've got to try it. I'm telling you, you got to
Yeah.
try it. So everybody's listening. And when you try it, you got to let us know and let Lisa know what you think.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I really appreciate it. And I can't wait until you taste the new flavors that I've made.
Yes, I'm
Can't
going to do
wait.
some today.
That's right.